Hello and a very warm welcome to today's video. Now in today's video I've got a very exciting video planned for you because a lot of people tell me that I'm in the wrong or I've not given a certain other software a good enough chance, and obviously I'm talking about the wonderful world of Xero. And the reason we're excited about it now is because big changes have happened in the world of Xero. You see, Xero itself has had a major upgrade. In fact, if I find the video in question.
Ever since Xero launched in the United States and Canada, the biggest complaint from QuickBooks and Sage users has been that there hasn't been a bank feed that you can enter in your ending balance, tick and bop, and then reconcile the period. Well, that all changes with Xero's new release of their bank reconciliation feature that does exactly that.
So this post is talking about how bank reconciliation has finally properly come to Xero. And anyone who knows me knows the fact that for me, it was the lack of reconciliation which stopped me from actually utilising Xero going forward. Because for me, bank reconciliation is by far the most important part. The idea that you can have a bank statement with a particular figure on it, hold it in your hand, and then look at whatever is your QuickBooks Xero, whatever license you're looking at. If you can agree the two, that's good things, right? That is a great solution to have, and that is something that you can then have confidence with your books. And without that, I've always felt that any software that doesn't provide a proper reconciliation doesn't get my attention. Now, according to this post here, which posted 3 days ago in time of filming, Xero has finally brought in a bank reconciliation feature, and we're going to trial it. We're going to see if now's the time to move over to Xero. Is now the time where Xero can be considered a worthy competitor to the wonderful world of QuickBooks? Only time will tell, and we're going to have a look at that. But it's also two for the price of one, because not only do we get to look at the wonderful new reconciliation features, we also get to see how JAX performs, because my license has now got JAX enabled. And for anyone who doesn't know, JAX is just Ask Xero and is their version of AI. So we're going to pit it to the test. We're going to look at QuickBooks and their reconciliation versus Xero and their reconciliation, and then Intuit Assist, QuickBooks AI feature versus JAX, Xero's AI feature, and see which one comes out on top. And the reason I'm so excited is because of this. Hey ChatGPT, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Just out of curiosity, how long has QuickBooks had a bank reconciliation feature in its online version?
QuickBooks Online has had a bank reconciliation feature since it was first launched back in 2004. It's been a core part of its functionality from the beginning, helping users match their transactions and keep their books accurate.
Since 2004, did you say?
Yep, that's right. QuickBooks Online was introduced in 2004, and the bank reconciliation feature has been there from the start to help users manage their finances more efficiently.
Amazing. So if it's 2004 since this feature's come through, so basically since the day that QuickBooks Online was there, and we've had to wait until 2025 for Xero to release their version, that could be a long time of development. In fact, let's ask ChatGPT. So if something's had that long of a jump start, would you expect the new thing to look even better? And can you give me examples of where something has had that long to develop over time?
Definitely. When a product or feature has had a long time to evolve, you'd expect newer versions to be even more robust and refined. For example, look at Microsoft Excel. It launched back in the 1980s, and over the decades, it's grown into a powerhouse with advanced data analysis, automation, and integration features. Another example is Adobe Photoshop, which started in the late 1980s and has continuously evolved to include sophisticated tools for photo editing, graphic design, and even 3D modeling. Over time, these long-standing products tend to become industry standards with rich, mature feature sets.
So it's safe to say that if Xero's finally released their bank reconciliation, then this tool must be absolutely amazing, right?
In theory, you'd hope so. With all the time and technological advancements since Xero launched, any new feature they roll out should ideally leverage the latest tech and user feedback. However, it also depends on how well they've learned from what's already out there and how much they've innovated. So while expectations would be high, the real test is how it performs in practice and whether it truly meets or exceeds user needs.
Couldn't say it better myself. Let's go and find out if Xero bank reconciliation exceeds the user needs. Let's have a look. Hello, my name is Aaron Patrick. I am a chartered accountant, a certified UK trainer with a fancy new logo, that QuickBooks chap on the internet, head of accounts here at Boffix, and also your Digital Disruptor winner 2024 and your hero behind the hero award winner, and also your friendly podcast who goes live each and every Monday morning for Ask the Accountant. Now, in today's video, we're just going to go straight into it. This is a video I've been so excited for because competition breeds innovation. So in my perfect scenario here, we're going to see Xero absolutely destroy QuickBooks' reconciliation feature, show QuickBooks exactly how reconciliation can be done. So that basically what will happen is QuickBooks will then produce a bank reconciliation even better than that one. And who wins? We win. So let's go and see exactly what this QuickBooks reconciliation versus Xero reconciliation is all about. So first of all, I need to get myself logged into Xero. I must admit, one of my favorite features about Xero's login functionality is they do incorporate your Apple Watch. So as you see there, it's asking me to authorize, get through, get there, everything else, blah, 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 accept everything, blah, 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 blah. But you'll see that on my watch, I can actually say, yes, it's me. So one click on the watch, I'm in that. I do like that. I must admit, that is definitely something that does get me excited from time to time. Now, I have this demo account I've been using for years, and in this demo account is the opportunity for me to add things, test things around, like see how things work, all this and the other. But what I've been waiting for is my test account to A, have this new reconciliation feature, and B, have access to JAX as well. So I'm going to trial both of them. I'm also going to open up a QuickBooks window as well, so that we can compare apples to apples. Now, I have jumped into my American version just because it has all of the Intuit Assist features already baked in. So we'll give a better representation of what Intuit Assist can do. But what I'm going to do is first go to the transactions area, bank transactions. So in the world of QuickBooks, you come to here, you look at what transactions you've done, and if you've completed them all, your bank balance and your in QuickBooks figure should be the same, which in fairness is pretty much how it works in Xero, right? Like in Xero, I'd come to this transaction here, like this balance here, we should have 4529, but in the statement I've got 106,2020. So clearly there's something not quite right in those two figures. Straight away, I'm either a little bit confident or I've got a little bit of concern about what's going on. And in both situations, we've got that nice little in Xero or in QuickBooks figure, in your statement figure, and as long as they both agree, you should be okay, right? But what I love is how QuickBooks takes it to the next step. So in the world of QuickBooks, if I want to just 100% agree with this, imagine that I had a bank statement in front of me, or I downloaded the app, or I looked at it, but basically I knew the figure was 1724 and 86p. What I do is I go to the bank reconciliation area. From here, I go in and yeah, it's first time, so it asks me a few extra questions. It tells me what my beginning balance was. It tells me, and then I get to put in what my old or my new account's going to be. I then do statement ending balance, whatever what date it's going to be. QuickBooks is going to look at it and say, we've checked your bank reconciled or ready to reconcile. So basically see if there's anything I might have missed, so may have not actually put into QuickBooks at the moment. And even better than this, there's a cool new feature where you get to enroll your bank, and those bank feeds will automatically, in the bank statements, will automatically come through. You can then start reconciling. So I'm going to look at all the transactions that are there. It's then going to tell you if it thinks there might be a difference or not, and it's going to tell you if there's a difference or not a difference or whatever it needs to be, and it's going to tell you there, and you can then carry stuff forward if you want to, put things through. But if you're happy that things should be there or not there, you can also tick them, untick them. When I do untick them, I get told what the difference is going to be when I tick them again. So I could tick them through manually if I want to. But it's clever enough. It basically knows that if the transaction's got these green blobs, it knows that they should be okay, and therefore calculates what the difference in the beginning and the clear balance should be, tells you different, and then you get to finish now. Better yet, once you finish now, you can then go to your history by account at any point in time, look at those history of reconciliations. Even what we would do on every client that we've got, we'd attach their bank account as well, so that we've got a copy of that, so we can see the proof of where we found that figure was. And then the best thing is its audit trail. So now, if I was going to go back to the bank register, just kind of look in the background of it and say, oh, you know what? I'm gonna delete that one. I don't like that, so that should be now £7 out, right? So now if I go back to my reconcile area, the first thing it's going to tell me is, whoa, 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 there's £7 out here. Something isn't right. Something's gone wrong. If I look at my latest bank reconciliation, I can see it's telling me that £7 been deleted. If I go back to my history by account, you'll see the changes of £7 been held there. Back to my reconcile area, it will tell me there's £7. I can press this button, it'll help me tell me how to fix it, and it will tell me what happened, what's gone on, why is that £7 there. And then at any point, it's not really going to let me go forward and reconcile. It's going to tell me there's an issue, and the idea then is I can go back to the banking area, deal with that £7, go back to the reconcile area, and then it's just up to me now to reconcile back to the right dates. Go back in, finish now, all set. Now I know everything's been looked at. If I go back to history by account, I can see now that everything's all done correctly. If I go to my summary page, I get a breakdown of all of my bank accounts, what stage they're at of the reconciliation. So that's what QuickBooks is doing from the reconciliation, and it's done that since day dot. Now, the exciting thing about this and the exciting thing about how that works, it gives me so much confidence. At any point in time, I go to this reconciliation summary, see what the statement date is, when it was reconciled. As long as that's past whatever period end I'm doing, I can very much confidence that everything's going to be all right. And I want to look into a little bit more detail, go history by account. I view the bank statement that's related to it. I'm getting confidence. I can view my report. I definitely know that there's 100% guarantee then that this figure's all been correctly added to QuickBooks Online. And it is really important that I have that confidence, because it's my confidence that allows me to sign off a set of accounts, for example. So that's QuickBooks' approach. In Xero's approach, they never had a reconciliation from day one. And again, that was my biggest concern. And you'll look into this one, let's look at metal. And the idea here is I've still got one transaction still to go in, and I need to say what it was. But I'm going to do cash coding just to save a bit of time. I'm going to say that, you know, let's say that this was subcontractors, £5, yeah, save and reconcile all. So at this point then, I've done all of my bank transactions. And in fairness, there was always this reconcile area here, which said, great job, all transactions for this account's been done. We're at £130, because my statement balance £130. My balance in Xero is £10 at this point. So I was always a little bit like, okay, so it's saying I'm reconciled, but in fairness, you know, it does mean that, you know, there's this option here for different balances. And when they say reconcile, they don't really mean reconcile. They mean that the transactions have been done, put in. If I go back to my bank accounts, have a look at metal, 130 there, £10 there. Why is this different? They do tell you kind of there's a, you know, oh, there's a reason, because it could be X, Y, Z, whatever it's going to be. But now if I go to manage account, you'll see there's a reconciliation report, which is basically the same as the reconciliation area that we have over here, or at least that's what this video here is trying to tell us, right? Xero launches QuickBooks style bank reconciliation. So we're going to have the same experience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the reconciliation report, and it's going to open it up for me. It's a really simple account here, so there can't be much wrong. And it's asking me, bank reconciliation summary. I get to add report, manage dates. So let's manage my dates on this one. Okay, yep, happy with that. So I'm going to say till, yeah, to then. And then I get to put my bank balance in. Now, the whole point of this is I'm supposed to open up my account, and let's have a look. So we're going to do that now. We're going to go to my metal account, and it says £95 is my balance. So I'm going to put £95 in here, and I'm going to press update. So what's happened now then is we've told it what the balance should be. So it's put the line in the sand that as at the 26th of April, which is the date that says here, we should have £95 shown. So what's it telling me? Well, it's telling me that total summary is balance in Xero, £10, plus outstanding payments of 120. Okay, so where's it got those from? We'll have a look at that in a moment. Less outstanding receipts. Statement balance calculated as 130. Bank statement ending balance £95. Calculated balance out by £35. Okay. So it's then telling me balance in Xero is a tenner. Outstanding payments, well, we've got a transaction here of £20 that's disappeared. And this is what happens sometimes. This is why bank reconciliation is so important, right? Even though we've added all the transactions on the bank, sometimes transactions get deleted or all manner of things, right? Clients are trying to adjust things, they're trying to make things work, or even your own staff can sometimes go in and make the wrong assumption. So for some reason, this transaction's now not there. So I've got to put this one back in. It says unreconciled at the top. So let's mark as reconciled now. Yeah, let's mark as reconciled. Okay, so that's now been marked as reconciled. So that issue, that problem should be fixed now. So yeah, okay, so let's go back to metal. All right, it's taking me back here. Let's go back to reconcile, cash coding. Now it's still telling me great job. Statement balance now 110. My balance in Xero is 10. Okay, so again, manage field, reconcile report. Let's go back to here. So remember, this is a QuickBooks style, just like it says here. QuickBooks launch, Xero launches QuickBooks style bank reconciliation. So where am I ticking these items off? And maybe this is it. Let's see what happens here. So after dealing with this a little bit more, maybe I've jumped the gun a little bit. So for me, reconcile, I've got reconcile account, which is this one. I have reconciliation report, which is this one, which I was playing with, which I thought was the new reconciliation feature, because I can't remember this being here, but maybe I'm wrong. But it gives me a bank statement, but it wasn't telling me, like the whole point here is I'm not really ticking it or giving the option to tick it, and it's not locking them in place. So this doesn't seem like this is exactly like for QuickBooks. I've got exceptions here that I could kind of delete manually, and I've got that element of it, but I don't quite get that full experience of reconciliation, because for me, I need to publish this and lock this down so that if any adjustments come through, then it's going to be from there. According to this video though, when I watch it through fully, I am missing a feature. So I am missing
company now. You have a nice big banner that says, hey, step-by-step guide. First time you do this, you're not going to have any periods for it to...
They seem to have a third one along, so a fourth one, should I say, or fifth one. Reconcile, cash coding, bank statements, account transaction, reconcile period. So when I go to here, and I go accounting, and I go bank accounts, and I jump into this metal account here, I have reconcile there, cash coding, which jumps around its thingy for some reason, bank statements, account transactions, and then I assumed was reconciliation report, which is where we've been to. But it looks like, no, it looks like that it's reconcile, cash coding, bank statement, account transactions, and there should be another tab. So I can't play around with it. But if we do look though at what's here.
Actually reconcile. So we go to create period, come down, and then pick the date range.
So we pick the date range, that's good.
30 days. We'll add the opening balance and the closing balance from the bank statement, and then we'll start reconciling. The very first time you go through this, there'll be little tooltips that tell you exactly what to do. But for all intents and purposes, if things aren't part of the reconciliation, you can now click them off. And if they are, you can click them on. At the very top, you'll be able to see if the balances match or not. And if they don't, they'll update by the difference and you can go from there. A few things to note. One, for anything that hasn't been reconciled for the period, you're going to need to reconcile those. And two, notice how I had to scroll back and forth along the top. I have it set to a pretty small browser, so they haven't really optimized for that, so you might have to go back and forth. If you want to learn a little bit more about it, they did put a tips and tricks button up top, so clicking on that gives you a quick little video. You can click on the guided tour if you want to have those pop-up buttons pop up again and go through them. So when you do go to close a period, and you press the button, it now has this closed period element to it. You can edit it, and you can create the PDF to actually show that the bank has been reconciled. So here's what the bank reconciliation report looks like now. You've got your
which is the same report we've got, right?
Balances, all the transactions that relate to it, and a PDF that sits outside the system in case you need it. If I had to guess, this is probably the most requested feature from sales reps on Xero's side, from the support desk, and from anybody considering moving off of any other platform onto Xero. I'm sure there's others, but this is probably at the top for a lot of people. Since coming over to the North American market, this is about 12 years in the making and a really, really big release for Xero in a market that loves their bank reconciliations with opening balances, closing balances, and ticks and bops in between. Congratulations, you absolutely made a lot of bookkeepers and accountants very, very happy today.
Okay, so I'm frustrated I can't play with it, but what they do show there is promising. But it doesn't seem to go that next step further. Like, it's not telling me there that now that's locked down, that if I make any adjustments, they'll appear in that report. And I don't know how dynamic it is. We can't play with it to test it. My other question is, why just the American market? And I get this, right? Well, I have this all the time with QuickBooks. Stuff will release in one version and we'll have a release in one territory. It's not in the other, and we have to wait, and there's no fast follows. And as an end user, it becomes frustrating, right? But why have we not got that in the UK? Surely the UK's been asking for this for a lot longer than America has, or North America has. I'm so confused. So this was the one feature that was potentially going to bring me over and make me go, actually, I should really be taking Xero seriously for a while. And it's just not here. Maybe I'm just being impatient. Maybe it will be released in the next week. I don't know. I'm not in the ecosystem to find out fully what's happening in the world of Xero. But I do feel like if that's all that is, and it's just a few tick boxes here and there, I'm not sure this is what we were all waiting for. The guy said there, 12 years in the making. Sorry, 12 years? What's the difference between an iPhone 12 years ago from now? What big features have they added?
12 years ago, we were looking at the iPhone 5, which came out in 2012. Compared to today's iPhones, the differences are huge. The iPhone 5 had a smaller 4-inch screen, while modern iPhones have much larger high-resolution displays. Cameras have gone from a single basic lens to multi-lens systems with advanced computational photography. Processing power has skyrocketed, enabling features like augmented reality, machine learning, and much faster performance. Battery life, security features like Face ID, and 5G connectivity are also major improvements. Overall, the leap in technology, design, and functionality is pretty dramatic.
So this is a picture, ironically, of an iPhone 5 on an iPhone 15, I believe it is. I think that's right. But either way, like, look how older that looks compared to what we have now. This is what 12 years of innovation and changes are. 12 years is that to this. Huge. And that's from an industry that we've got to a point where people are actually bored of the updates of phones. You know, when was the last time you've told yourself and said to yourself, you have to have the latest version of the iPhone or the Android or whatever it's the solution you're having? We're at a point in our lives where flagship phones aren't as must-have as they used to be. If you look at the curve bell for what it was from important must-have updates to a phone to now, it's kind of staled off, right? We've got to a plateau. They're incremental updates. 10 years ago they weren't. 10 years ago were huge updates. So for me, this should be an absolute game changer. This should be the bit where QuickBooks stops what they're doing and puts all their development back into their best feature, which is the bank reconciliation, and go, right, well, we have to one-up Xero. Again, I've not played with this, so I am being slightly harsh, but if that is all we're getting, was that 12 years worth of an innovation? I don't know. But we will wait and see. And you're already in the right place, so make sure you like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff, because as soon as I have access to it, we're going to do a like for like. Now, that's not what we're all here for. We're also going to be looking at Intuit Assist. Now, Intuit Assist versus JAX. Basically, Intuit Assist is built directly within QuickBooks. So one of my favorite features is this idea here that I generate an invoice, and on the left-hand side, I can autofill that from there. And I've shown this off before, so I've done plenty of videos, but basically I can grab any invoice, put it into here, and it will generate that for me, even my horrible handwritten work. See this horribly handwritten piece of work here? Like literally I put the date in, I put a customer in and whatever, right? Not a very good representation of my handwriting, if I'm completely honest, but all I do is I autofill from the file here, that brings it in. This is the power of Intuit Assist. What it's going to do is it's going to take that, extract it, put this information in here, mapping it, and if by magic it's then going to actually populate all of these transactions, maybe ask me to, am I happy with this one, or should I be looking at other suggestions? But if I'm happy with it, everything else just goes through. If I'm happy with it, and I can review and send, I can go through from there. But that has always been a bit of a wow moment, right? Because this is what we want, the future of AI. We want this to wow us. If we just release something that is a little bit wish-washy, is a little bit kind of not quite sure what this is doing for me sort of thing, it won't have an adoption. And QuickBooks know this because QuickBooks released a chatbot 5 years ago, right? And it was just this chat box that you ask it a few questions and it kind of mediocrely came out with some answers for you. But if I'm honest, it was, you used it once or twice and you never looked at it again because there was no wow factor to it. There's nothing to drag you in and go from there. The reason I'm using ChatGPT more than ever is because it keeps wowing me, it keeps impressing me, it keeps making me go, oh, that's why I should continue with it. It's never going to be perfect every single time. I need to be making sure that I'm being, responsible with my AI use. I've got to make sure that I'm only using it for the right things. I've got to be making sure that it's accurate what it's doing, and I've got to put a bit of due diligence, but that's on me. But the only reason I'm willing to put that investment in, the only reason I'm willing to keep fighting the good fight against, the idea of using an AI solution is because it's wowing me enough times to make me invest in it. And that's the same with what's happening in the world of Intuit Assist. Yeah, it's not perfect at this point in time. There's some things where it doesn't quite do things that you want it to do. But for the most part, if you look back at the videos we've done on Intuit Assist, it's doing so much that's making me wow to go, I get it. I get why we're investing all this time. I get what's going on here. And we're at the precipice and we're not there yet. I know we've got more time to go with this. And I know they're still cooking it in the oven and at some point it will be ready for us all to play. But that's where we're at the moment. We're at the position where it's fighting for our attention. And in my opinion, for me, it's working. I am now excited about what Intuit Assist can do. I'm excited for what it's going to be able to do for me going forward. That is what JAX needs to do as well, especially for people like myself who are not Xero fanboys at this point in time, because they don't have reconciliation, because it's a little bit less intuitive in the way that it works from a training point of view, right? I'm a certified UK trainer for Intuit QuickBooks. I don't find Xero anywhere near as intuitive as QuickBooks is. I can train QuickBooks, and I have trained QuickBooks time and time again. I can't do that with Xero because I feel like Xero is very much a case of you have to use it in their way. If you follow their workflow, the Xero workflow from start to finish, you have an amazing experience. But if, like me, you kind of want to use a bit of difference in your boundaries, or push the boundaries here, and I see myself as someone who likes to push the boundaries and innovate and push and go against the problem norm. That's why I love teaching QuickBooks, because with QuickBooks there's always an opportunity for you to work outside of the sandbox, to do things like partial exemption, for example. Partial exemption couldn't be done in Xero to the extent that you can do it in QuickBooks, because QuickBooks gives you the tools that you can mold and make work for that scenario. And there's loads of examples where I've had to try and make something work and I've struggled to do it in Xero, but I've been able to achieve it every single time in QuickBooks. And with Xero, for them to win someone like me, we need that wow factor, right? We need bank reconciliations to really impress me, to be better than what I've got in QuickBooks. What I've seen, that's not going to be the case, but there's obviously JAX. So let's see if JAX is going to blow me away. Let's have a look. All right, so JAX is in this top right hand corner. So I do like that. I think it's nice that it's sat there kind of inviting us in. And I know Intuit Assist, when that fully goes live, we're going to have the same feature at the top here. And at the moment for Intuit Assist, all we've been able to play around with some of the other bits of it that comes through, but that's fine. Let's click on JAX then. So you can see here, just ask Xero. We're in beta, so we're not expecting it to do everything at this point in time, but we are expecting it to, give us a bit of an insight, get us to buy into this, right? This is its selling point. This is its time to win someone like me over. So just ask Xero. What can JAX do? Let's just start with that one. Generating response. JAX can assist you with automating tasks related to invoices and quotes, such as creating and editing draft invoices and quotes, adding line items and providing summaries of your invoices. You can also get help with various Xero functionalities. Current JAX is available for the subscriber of the organisation during its beta phase. We plan to expand the to success. Okay, cool. Right, all right. So, create me an invoice for £100 for Boffix. Thank you. Always be polite to AI. I need the contact name. Yeah, Boffix. Okay, can you show me? I retrieved the details of invoice number. The invoice is included. Okay. Okay, let's go into there. So now I'm in there, surely I'll be able to kind of do some... Right, okay, yeah, nice one. So that's create me the invoice, no problems there. Please add a line item for £50. Okay, I've updated the invoice. And the amount has changed from 120 to 180. This includes a new item for additional for... It's not changed on here though, I must have to do a refresh. Okay, so then I've got to click back into here. All right, let's... can you remove the draft? Huh? Okay, I've updated the invoice. The total amount has changed from 180 to 240. Why has it done that? The updated included an additional item for £50. Yeah. Okay. Before I look into that, let's change the due date. Can the due date be end of the month? Again, always be polite. Thank you. Let's get that sorted. Yes, but please add the due date for the end of the month. Okay. Yes, I mean it's wrong because that's... I don't know why that... Okay. The due date is required. Just, did I tell him what the due date was? Okay. You can set a date by opening the invoice on the invoice page or setting of default. Now, due date end of the month. I can't complete the task as it's beyond my current capabilities. Interesting. Okay, let's just see, because obviously when we first looked at it here, we were just playing around with it, right? Let's do text. Please create, in fact, the only way to do this fair, isn't it? Create me an invoice, £100, Boffix, thank you. Autofill. See, what I do like about this is it's showing on the screen. And then what did we do after that? We added a line item for £50, didn't we? Add a line item 50, autofill. And then it does kind of ask me kind of basically to agree it. So was it happy that it was an additional service? Should I be adding one? So yeah, let's add it as additional service. I like that suggestion. Yeah, save and close. Coming through from there. What else did I say? Can the due date be the end of the month? Thank you. So far it's added the transactions in, it's put a new customer in. It's literally done about, and then you get a little insight into what's happening to this customer. It's paid Xero invoices, has Xero there. It's given me all that information here. It's adding additional transactions. It's put my due date in. I know it's in American at the moment because I'm in an American file, but this one, unless I refresh, and look, now I've refreshed, it's added that £50 twice. Yeah, I get this cool little feature at the top here, what details need my attention. So it's building confidence with me. It's showing me the adjustments made. It's not just doing it. So what it's done here is done it wrong, right? So I don't really know how it's done it, because it could have been me. I could have said the wrong things. I could have told this wrong at this point in time. But I'm able to write in here, give it some context, and it builds it out there. Very similar to this feature, right, where I get to write in here, but it's not showing it me, it's not giving me the confidence, it's building it in the background, and then it's just limited and failing. Where this one's got it right. I know no VAT on this one because we're in America, and this one hasn't got VAT on, but the net exactly the same. Look, 200 and 150. Well, it would have been if it got it right, but you know, that's what it's doing correctly here. So let's look at some more features. The WhatsApp SMS thing I think is a brilliant idea. Email, brilliant idea. So you could automate some things at this point, you know, get a third party solution maybe to, you know, send out emails and stuff, and you could put it straight through from that. I love that. I love that option. So I think that's a great idea. But what is it doing to really wow me? So, how much does Boffix owe me? And on this one, like I said, I can just click into the Boffix button here. Xero invoices, Xero overdue. So nothing's owed at this point. So I'm happy with that one. And I know as well that at some point, I've retrieved the total amount of invoice. The amount of invoice, including any applied credit, is £480. There's one invoice. Would you like to help with anything else, Dave? Can you take me to that invoice? But that's interesting because it's saying there's £480, but there's 240. So has it generated it twice? Or is there generally... Oh no, because that's another invoice that was generated way back when. That's not the invoice I generated. It's a different one. It's because it's left in draft, isn't it? It's because it's here in draft and it's created twice. Okay. All right, JAX then. Let's do my favorite bit on here and let's just compare how it does it. So if I bring out some receipts, here's this one here, a horrible receipt for it to look at. So we want to do a bit of extraction idea, don't we? So I put it into here and it will extract it there, and then the sushi, I imagine I'll just drop it. Oh no, can't drop it there. Where do I drop it? Can you extract receipts? Oh, no, can't do that. Oh, okay. Because in this one, it's already done. And it's extracted all the information for me. Found a match for me. So I can match it against that. Like, yeah, it's wowing me, right? It's extracted. It's doing stuff that means that I can be impressed with it. And I can email in just like I can on this one, and I can do all that sort of stuff. So all I'm doing now is I'm going to create a email, same as WhatsApp, you know, whatever I'm going to be. And what I'm going to do is going to press this button here. Please create me a new invoice for customer Boffix for £250 with the due date end of the month. Thank you. All right, and now I'm going to press send. So what's happened here is it should have gone through, and so what it should have done now is it should have sent that email off. So we should have that email being sent over to the two relevant things. I'm going to see which one's done which. So on QuickBooks side of things, yeah, here we go. Here's our sent item. I've sent it to both to Xero and to Intuit or QuickBooks, and we'll see how it's done. So it looks like it's arrived in here. Let's have a look. So both of them have been able to create the invoice for me just by sending that one email. Both come through there. Difference is this one's come as a draft, whereas this one is already ready to go. I don't know if one's better or worse than the other. I'm not sure really what the benefits or differences could be, but you know, hey, that is definitely a difference between them. But it was only Intuit that was able to figure out the due date within JAX. They don't have that functionality at all. You can't pick the due date, which I think is a bit of an odd one, a bit of a missing one. And is unable to, from what I can tell, unable to make it from draft. So if you did want to send it as an invoice and send it, I think you're going to struggle. But I did like the fact that on Xero, they did send me this little invoice back, right? Hi, the QuickBooks chap, your invoice has been created. I like that. I think that's really cool. Hopefully that's something that Intuit can bring into as well, because I think that'll be quite a nice little feature. But ultimately, I think that's it. I think that's all it can do. We can't extract data yet. We're really just looking at invoices, and I'm struggling to actually open up that initial bit that we can go and ask questions. Oh, here we go. Create an invoice. Create a draft, add a line to a draft, approve and send an invoice. Oh, it does say approve and send invoice. Okay. Let's try that. So I'm going to say approve and send invoice. Go through from there. Maybe that's the wrong invoice. Let's do approve and send invoice 0051. Let's try that one. Invoice 0051 can't be sent because it needs approval. Approved. About to approve the following. Yes. The due date is required. You can set a date in the opening. Okay. Due date. End of month. Alright. So if it can't create... I know in invoice settings I could probably, oh, it's telling me there, right? If I go to invoice settings, I could say default settings, and I can say, so due 31st of the following month. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do in this one, just one extra one, is just going to do, oh, helps if I spell it right. We're going to add at the very end to approve and send. So if I press send there, and I am actually going to see what happens if I do it on QuickBooks side as well, instead of messing around with emailing it. And we're going to do new invoice tax. I'm going to do exactly the same as I've got here. And we're going to please create me, approve and send at the very end. Autofill. So you can see in real time how this one's going to put that together. And in theory, Xero's sent me the invoice. Oh, why have I got a login? No, I need a login. Oh wait. Hi, your invoice has been created. Oh, it's been created. Oh, but I didn't want it, I want it sent, didn't I? Interesting. What's the latest invoice? Okay, so that's not going to work. So it's generated my new invoice, but not sent it. Even though I said approve and send. But maybe it can't do it all in one. So I'll do JAX AI, approve and send. So what you should be doing now is generating it, ready to send it. No. Invoice 0052, approve and send. I thought that because I was in that invoice it was going to let me do that, but clearly not. Resend message. I will send an email containing invoice. Yes. Brilliant. All right. Oh no. Approved. And I can see if I wasn't sat in here and I was doing it by WhatsApp, I could see that being better experience than this. This is slightly frustrating. It's like back and forth, but I think we give up there. And I think that's the thing, right? This has become a frustrating experience. This isn't the wow factor that we kind of know and love. This is just what the QuickBooks experience was 5 years ago. And that didn't last long. And I tried to want to use it. I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to be the, using it all the time and getting the most out of it and getting some feedback over. But in the end, it just didn't feel like it was able to do that for me. And I feel like this is what's happened with this version of JAX, right? People are using it, going, okay, I get what's going on here. It's cool, I guess. But it's not wowing them. It's not giving them that buy-in. It's not making them want to continue to use it. And that's a real danger, because this has to be something that everyone wants to use. And if people aren't going to be using it, we're going to struggle to get that adoption. We're going to struggle to get people to want to use it. And the same with the reconciliation feature. If this isn't the best, wonderful, at least feature parity with QuickBooks, then no one's going to jump ship and no one's going to move from Xero to this, because we're not solving their pain points. And I think if it was 12 years, whatever the time frame, or however long it's taken them to get to this point, I was expecting more. And maybe my expectations too high and I'm being too critical. But realistically, I was expecting both JAX and reconciliation to be those two features that make me go, wow, this is why I should be in there. And then I've got other frustrations with the software, but I can look past them, right? Some of them are just preferences. Some of them is because I've always done it the way that QuickBooks has done it, so I've always preferred it that way. But those two, AI functionality and reconciliation, have become my non-negotiables. And if I can't have those non-negotiables, I can't invest in that software. And to me, that's where JAX and the reconciliation just doesn't do it for someone like myself. JAX isn't wowing me, and it's not wowing anyone. I haven't yet found anyone on any social media platform singing its praises. They just kind of sat there and going, I guess it's cool, but is it any quicker? I mean, it's taken me that long to send an invoice and it's got one of them wrong. We need it to wow me, and that's what Intuit Assist is at the moment. It's wowing me. It's making me change the way that I'm thinking about my workflows. It's making me think about what the future could hold. It's making me going, oh, okay, actually, this is a worthwhile platform to invest my time and expertise in, because I can see where it's going to go in the future. And JAX will improve. JAX will be better than this. This is the worst it will ever be. But it's going to need buy-in from its users. Otherwise, what's the point? And I don't feel like it's got that buy-in. And the danger is the future of everything that's happened out there, and you look at the history repeating itself, if it doesn't have the buy-in, it just slowly goes away. And we can't let that happen with this. This is too much of an important feature. Same with the reconciliation. The fact that they've only released it in the UK is frustrating for me, but in the US even, but what they're showing me didn't blow me away either. And it could be because I'm not playing with it. So once I play with it, I might completely change my mind. But it didn't look like it was locking the period down. It didn't look like it was bringing the data in directly from the bank for me. It didn't look like it was solving my biggest pain points. And my biggest pain points at the moment is, once I've got the bank statement off the client, super easy, super simple, love the experience, I can sleep at night, everyone's happy, tick, 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 tick. and I can go and run one report and see exactly for that client which accounts are reconciled. And it's not just bank accounts as well. With QuickBooks, I can reconcile anything on the balance sheet. Xero doesn't seem to be doing that from the off. And when it's been taken that long to get to this point, feature parity is the minimum expectation. Wowing me is what I really want it to do. And it's not done that at all. So, am I jumping ship and killing the QuickBooks chat persona from here and becoming the Xero chat? Not anytime soon, because still not doing those fundamental elements for me, those non-negotiables. Bank reconciliation, and now, unfortunately, AI. And until it can figure those two out, I'm not interested. But what do you think? Let me know. Am I being overcritical? Have I shown you something here that you've gone, Aaron, you're doing this completely wrong. If you do it this way and this way and this way, you'll have a much better experience. Because that could well be it. Could well be user error at this point, right? Maybe I'm not just asking Xero in the correct way. Maybe I should just ask Xero in a particular way and I will get the right result each time. I know things like the due date and stuff is probably on me. I probably should have set it up in a different way and approached it in a different manner and blah, 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 blah. But I shouldn't have to, right? I should just be able to make it work. And at the moment, it's not just working. So just ask Xero, currently, just not working. And that's where we are. So my name's been Aaron Patrick. Let me know in the comments below anything that you found that Just Ask Xero does that you think is amazing. Is there anything it's doing better than Intuit Assist? Because so far I've not seen that, right? And I need that wow factor. I need that bit to tell me, oh, this is why Just Ask Xero is so good. My name's been Aaron Patrick. Hopefully this video has helped you. And if it has, please, please, please use that like button, the subscribe button, all that sort of stuff to help us grow this channel. As always, this video has been an absolute pleasure to do for you. And I hope and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Hello and welcome to this new series. Hello and welcome to this video. 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 Alright, let's get it set. Let's do this.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yes, I'm aware we go live every Monday.
The next generation is about everyone else that missed it.
Yeah. So current. All right, you've told us what you love about the industry, but what would you change about the industry?
Where do I start?
During that period of time, where did everyone turn to? Their accountant, right? Their advisor, their bookkeeper. And you all did phenomenal work for small business.